Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports, Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some NBA games for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon. My picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get to the games. We're going to be looking at the Grizzlies versus the Cavaliers, Spurs versus the Raptors, Pacers versus the Knicks, Suns versus the Pelicans, and Kings versus the Lakers to end off the night. On the screen in front of you right here, this is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. The way that I have it structured here is I have the road team, the away team up top, their season record, their away record, any other notes I want to add on the side, their coach's record. In the middle is the head-to-head between the two teams, all time and for the season. And then at the bottom is the home team, their season record, their home record, their coach's record, and any other notes that I want to add if there's any. So let's go ahead and start off with the Grizzlies and the Cavaliers and see if there's any numbers here for either side that gives us anything to work with. So when I start these videos, I usually start with the home team. I'll give out some numbers that favor the home team to win the game, and then I'll go over the road team. So let's start with the Cavaliers as the home team. If the Cavaliers were going to win this game, one thing that they really have in their favor numerically is that Grizzlies could be looking at getting their 15th loss for this season, as they sit on 11 road wins for the season with the loss. Today has 11 date numerology on the Gregorian, 47 date numerology on the Gregorian, 47 the 15th prime number. They can get that 15th loss, sit on 11 road wins. But 15 shows up and 47 shows up on the Hebrew side of the calendar. It's the 120th day of the Hebrew civil year. 120 mathematically is the 15th triangular number. Also, it's the second day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious side of the calendar, like 211. And 211 is the 47th prime number. 47, the 15th prime number. So the number 15, I guess, could be shown on 3 different calendars. Grizzlies could get that 15th loss potentially, and that would be a big favor for Cavs. And then Grizzlies would sit on 11 road wins with the loss on a day with 11 date numerology for the Gregorian, as the Cavaliers even the score and get their revenge 1-1 head-to-head against the Grizzlies for the season, like an 11. And the Cavs coach, he's coaching his 121st regular season game as a coach for the Cavaliers, and mathematically speaking, 11 times 11 sums to 121. But also with 47 date numerology on the Gregorian, 47 written out sums to 121. So that could be an 11 connection and a 47 connection, 47 the 15th prime number, that allow Cavaliers to win this game, evening the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Grizzlies, as the Grizzlies get their 15th loss for the season. Now, if the Grizzlies were going to win this game, we're going to turn the tables here. Some numbers that would favor the Grizzlies to win this game. It could be because the Cavs are playing their 20th home game. What I mean by this, it being their 20th home game, the Grizzlies can get their 20th all-time head-to-head win against the Cavaliers in the Cavs' 20th home game. The Grizzlies can also sweep the Cavaliers 2-0 head-to-head at like 20 against the Cavs for the season in their 20th home game. So the 20 would go against the Cavs in this scenario. And if the Grizzlies get their 20th all-time head-to-head win against the Cavs, they would sit on 31 all-time head-to-head losses to go with, and 31 is the 11th prime number, We talked about how 11 would favor the Cavs. Well, in this scenario, 11, 31, the 11th prime would favor the Grizzlies on a day with 11-date numerology. And then with the Grizzlies, they can get their 25th win for the season as their coach gets his 97th win regular season for his career. 97 is the 25th prime number, but 25 connects to the number 47. And the way that it connects to the number 47 is if you write out 25 and you write out 47, they both sum in all four base ciphers. They equally sum everything in all four base ciphers, if I know how to say the words right. They sum to the same thing in all four base ciphers. That's what I was trying to say. 25 and 47, all four base ciphers. Grizzlies could get their 25th win for the season. They would sit on 14 losses for the season. They become 25-14. And today is the 4th day of January, 4/1 or 1/4. And that would be what I would call some numbers for Grizzlies. So hopefully this helps. We're going to keep it moving. I don't want to make this video too long. Now we're going to do the Spurs and the Raptors. We'll start with the home team. So some numbers that would favor the Raptors in this game. If Raptors were to win this game, they would become 10-10 at home for a season record. They would be 10-10. And it's the first time they're playing against the Spurs for the season. And they could become 1-0 head-to-head against the Spurs for the season with the win. Like 10, as Raptors become 10-10 at home for the season with the win. The Spurs, with the loss, they would become 7-12 on the road. 712 is an anagram of 172, and today has 27-date numerology on the Gregorian. 27 sums to 172. Could be a reason why Spurs become 7-12, which is just anagrams of each other. The Raptors, they would sit on 35 all-time head-to-head losses against the Spurs with the win. Today with 47-date numerology, 47 written out sums to 149, the 35th prime number. And the Spurs, they would sit on 14 wins for the season with the loss. Today being the 4th of January, written 1/4 or 4/1. So those would be some numbers for the Raptors, if I can speak correctly. The Raptors. Got a pattern going here of saying the wrong thing. Raptors, that would be their numbers. So let's look at the Spurs. If Spurs were going to win this game, what are some numbers that favor them? Well, we talked about it in the previous game, the number 15, how 15 is kind of all over the calendars here. Spurs could pick up their 15th win for the season as they sit on 15 all-time head-to-head losses against the Raptors with the win. Today with 47-date numerology, 47 the 15th prime number. It's the 120th day on the Hebrew civil, the 15th triangular number. Second day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious, 211, the 47th prime number, 47 the 15th prime. Today does have 11-date numerology on the Gregorian. And the Spurs, they can sit on 11 losses for the season with the win, as Raptors get their 11th home loss for the season. The Spurs, they would sit on 21 losses for the season as they become 8-11 for a road record with a win. 8-11 mathematically is the 141st prime number, and if you type out the number 21, it sums to 141. So they can sit on 21 losses with a win as they become 8-11, which mathematically breaks down to 141. And I think that might be the narrative for the Spurs if they were going to win. Oh, yeah, one last thing. It's the Spurs' 36th game for the season. They can get their 36th all-time head-to-head win against the Raptors. The Pacers and the Knicks. We're going to go ahead and look at this game, see if there's any numbers that we can find. There's a couple here that we can play with, but we'll start with the home team. The Knicks. If the Knicks were going to win this game, they have the number highlighted here in light blue in their favor. They can sit on 114 all-time head-to-head losses against the Pacers as their coach gets his 411th regular season win for his career. 411, 114 are just reflections of each other. The Pacers, they would get their 15th road loss for this season. Today, with 47 date numerology on the Gregorian, 47 the 15th prime number, 120th day on the Hebrew Civil, the 15th triangular number. The Knicks, they can even the score 2-2 head-to-head against the Pacers, like 22. I don't know of a number connection that goes directly to the 22 as of right now, other than it may be the second day of the current Hebrew month, like 2, 22, 2-2. But it could just be a revenge narrative too. You know, I don't know if Knicks want to go out 1-3 head-to-head against the Pacers. So nothing numerical there really, just more of a, I guess, a revenge idea. But what else? What else? I didn't see a whole lot. For the Knicks, what makes it really hard for the Knicks, in my opinion, if we look ahead, they play in 2 days. They play on Thursday, on the 6th, January 6th. The thing about that day, though, is it's the 4th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious, like 4/11. And so it's really hard to think, does the Knicks coach get his 411th win here against the Pacers, or does he get it on the 4th day of the 11th month, written like 4/11? So that's really kind of what I'm thinking. Which way is it going to go? I kind of like the support here with the 114, but outside of that, just the 15 and the 297 could definitely help. I could go ahead and mark that. It is the 297th day of the Hebrew religious. 297, 297. The Knicks coach, it could be 411, 297 with the win. But again, with the problem with that is he plays, or the Knicks play in 2 days on the 6th. So it's going to be the 4th day of the 11th month, the 299th day. You know, if Knicks lose here in this game, if the Pacers, he would get his 298th loss, which could set him up to get his 299th on Thursday. Vice versa, if the Knicks lose here, it could also set him up to get his 411th win. So it could go either way, 411, 299. So it's kind of tricky there. For the Pacers, if the Pacers were going to win this game, they got this 7-12. Knicks would become 7-12 at home for a season record with the loss. Today with 27 date numerology on the Gregorian, 27 sums to 172, which is just an anagram of 7-12. The Pacers coach, he would sit on 712 losses regular season with the win. And it doesn't matter if the Pacers win or lose this game, they're going to be picking up a number 15. It's either going to be their 15th road loss, or they're going to be picking up their 15th win for this season. 47 date numerology on the Gregorian, 47 the 15th prime, 120 a day on the Hebrew Civil, the 15th triangular. So it really could go either way for the Pacers in that area. This might be a game where you just kind of follow and see who's actually playing. Is there anybody on the injury report? Is there anybody on COVID protocol? Something like that. But let's keep it moving. Suns and Pelicans. We'll start with the home team. If the Pelicans were going to win this game, it's January 4th, 1/4, 4/1, like 14. Pelicans can get their 14th win for the season. The Suns coach, he's currently sitting on 289 losses regular season for his career, which could be a reason why he would get his 290th, as the Suns become 28-9 for a season record with a loss, 289, 289. So he could be sitting on that 289, pop it over to 290, as the Suns become 289 for a season record. They would also become 12-5 for a road record with a loss. Today with 27 date numerology on the Gregorian, 27 sums to 125. And then the Pelicans, this is the potential revenge narrative. 11 date numerology on the Gregorian, They can become 1-1 head-to-head against the Suns for the season with the win. So that would be the Pelicans numbers. If the Suns were going to win this game, we would look at the number 11 really quick. Suns would sit on 31 all-time head-to-head losses against the Pelicans. 31, the 11th prime, 11-date numerology. Suns would get their 35th all-time head-to-head win against the Pelicans. Today with 47 date numerology on the Gregorian. 47 sums to 149, the 35th prime number. Pelicans would get their 25th loss for the season. 25 and 47 are summed to the same thing in all four base ciphers. I already showed you guys that. 25, 47. Both of them sum to 149, the 35th prime number. Pelicans can get their 25th loss for the season as they get their 35th all-time head-to-head loss against the Suns, is another way you can put it. And the Suns have the same dilemma as the Knicks in a way. The Knicks coach, because the Suns coach, this is his 182nd game as a coach, regular season for the Suns. He could get his 114th win here, but I believe... Yeah, they do play on the 6th as well. So they play on the 6th as well. And we know that on the 6th, it's going to be the 4th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious side of the calendar, like 4/11. So you ask yourself, does the Suns coach get his 114th win here and then head into the next game on the 4th day of the 11th month, or do they lose here and he gets it on the 6th? The Pelicans with the loss, they can get their 11th home loss for this season. Today with 11 date numerology on the Gregorian. So Kings and Lakers for the last game of the night. Kings versus Lakers. We'll start with the home team. The Lakers coach is in the same dilemma as the Suns coach, which is in the same dilemma as the Knicks coach. The Lakers, too, I believe they play on Thursday as well. The Knicks, the Suns. Actually, no, they don't. Never mind. They play on the 7th. So I take that back. They don't have the 144 because Lakers coach, it's his 182nd regular season game as a coach for Lakers as well, and he can get his 114th win. I mean, his record could be identical to the Suns coach's record. But they play on the 7th instead of the 6th, which would be the 5th day of the 11th month, 5/11. So they wouldn't have that same dilemma. Never mind. But getting back to this particular game, if the Lakers were to win this game, it could be lucky number 777 for the coach. Maybe. Honestly, I really don't have a narrative for Lakers in this one. Even though they probably might win. I mean, the Kings, they can get their 11th road loss on a day with 11 date numerology. And kind of struggling to find something here for the Lakers. I just don't see any numbers. You know, you can say it's the Lakers' 39th game. It's their 23rd home game. And the Kings are going to get their 23rd loss for the season in their 39th game for the season. So it's both these teams' 39th game for the season. Kings can get their 23rd loss, 23rd home game for the Lakers. So you can say that. And then the Kings would get their 6th road loss to go with on a day with 11 date numerology. I don't know. Just because I can't find anything while I'm doing this video doesn't mean that it's bad for the Lakers. I see games all the time where I just can't find anything and they still win. So
I wouldn't take it as a bad thing necessarily. I would take it as me just not being able to find anything. Maybe you guys find something. I don't know. I can't find everything. But I'm just not seeing anything kind of surface layer here for the Lakers. What's interesting for the Kings, though, kind of, is with the 11s, 11 date numerology on the Gregorian, Lakers could get their 11th home loss. The Kings coach, he could become 11-11 for a record as a coach for Kings. It's his 22nd game. Kings could sit on 22 losses with a win. 27 date numerology on the Gregorian. 27 sums to 172. Kings can get their 172nd all-time head-to-head win against the Lakers as they become 17-22 for a season record, which just looks like a 172. And the Kings coach, it's his 1,127th regular season game, which is just the same numbers as a 172. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I think it's more interesting for the Kings side than it is for the Lakers side, but it's just like how much do you trust it? I don't know. Lakers are trash. Kings are kind of trash. I mean, they're both just trash, really. So might not be something I would be betting if I were to bet or think about betting a game. But that's what I have for now. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I'm kind of tired, so I sound kind of tired. Maybe it made it extra boring to listen to. I apologize. But I definitely appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the support. And I wish you the best luck on all your picks.